there's a passion that ignites us. Driven by pride, daring, and the desire to excel. Fueled by the high-octane love of owners, drivers, and car lovers everywhere. It's a calling for every man and woman to enjoy and live this lifestyle now. Welcome to Cars and Coffee Exposed.
Thank you for braving this weather today.
Absolutely.
Being out here with us. I'm so excited to hear about this Mack truck. First of all, this fits you.
It's fit me for a long time now.
It's pretty on brand. It sounds like a 10-year-old boy's dream to race a big Mack truck. That just sounds like so much fun.
It is.
And I was absolutely shocked when I saw that you drift this thing. I didn't even know that was possible.
Oh, yeah. You can do a lot of things with 3,000 foot-pounds of torque. We do circle track racing and American big rig racing. We've done exhibition out here at Nashville Super Speedway and a lot of other places across the country. We've been with the East Tennessee Drift crew, drifting over to Chilhowie Park. We've done events here with the Slide Factory, Turismo Drift. We've done Arkansas Mile. We have a passenger seat in the truck. We've had a lot of people ride shotgun with us in different events and doing different editorial things. And we show up at a lot of shows like Cars and Coffee here. The truck has done a lot of different things in the last 10 to 11 years.
I've seen the resume. It's pretty impressive. So tell us about big rig racing, because I'm so intrigued.
We have about 15 to 18 semi-trucks right now. We run primarily circle track, asphalt and dirt. And we race hard. You can see all the bends in the sheet metal on that truck and how many things are tore up. It's not a show truck, it's a race truck.
It's not meant to be pretty, it's meant to be fast.
We're meant to be fast and put on a lot of entertainment and a lot of racing and a lot of close racing. Pushing, shoving, sheet metal banging, yes, spin outs, yeah. Wow. A lot of different things have happened over the years.
So it's like the hockey of racing?
Yeah, there's been some brawls.
Yeah.
Yes, there have been a few brawls, and I've been part of a few of them over the years.
I heard you talking to a spectator or a fan earlier, and they were asking you about the road that got you here and the investment, and so take us through that whole process.
Well, it originally started out as road course racing about 10, 11 years ago. They brought something in called Champ Truck. It was supposed to be a cheap vehicle, a cheap truck, cheap racing, a lot of entertainment. And that's exactly what we did. So basically, if you spent more than $30,000 on a race truck, you're doing it totally wrong.
Okay.
This is grassroots motorsports racing, 100%.
Now, that's 100%. Coming from a tech, so I feel like it's a little bit of a bias. No, can anybody do this for under 30 grand?
Yes. Most of the trucks in the series are way under 30 grand.
How's your wife feel about that?
It's been a long 10 years, but she's over there. She's
she's
along with it.
She looks very supportive. You're a lucky guy.
I met her drag racing, so I mean.
Did you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you're going to take me drifting in this thing later, I think, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, don't kill me. We're ready. We're doing this right now with heels. I tell you what I didn't think I was going to be doing today. It's going drifting in a Mack truck. So much fun! Oh my God, I love my truck! That was one hell of a ride.
What do you think?
I couldn't that all say. Bill Lynch, thank you for coming out today and bringing this '78 Monza Spider. So I've never seen this car. I know nothing about it.
Okay.
And I'm probably not the only one. So tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, the crazy part, there was almost 800,000 of them made, and there's probably 1,000 left, in total. Most of them were cut up, made into race cars, or driven into the ground.
How long did they make this car for?
They made the car from 1975 to 1980.
So for 5 years.
One of the things that's cool about it was this is the first production car to come out with the rectangular headlights.
And then what other cars were there's with Trans Am?
A lot of cars actually went to the rectangular headlights, but they just adapted it to the stock. So it went from a round to 2 rectangular headlights on the car.
Where did you find it?
I found this car in Long Island, New York. I chased the car for 14 years. So the owner of the car, I pulled him over one day and said, I got to buy this car from you. And he said, no, I'm not ready to sell it. I said, well, we exchanged numbers. He took me to his house, and we went through the whole thing, and I looked over the car, and my wife and I went and go over his house every once in a while, see if he's ready to sell. And he was a snowbirder, so he would be down in Florida, and the car was in New York, was always in the garage. And that's why the car lived, because it lived in the garage. It was full lifetime. So we would go there. Like I said, my wife and I would go every once in a while and knock on the door, see if they're home. I peek in the window, the car's sitting there. I'm like, I wanted this car so bad. And so 14 years later, I actually wound up getting the car. He made a phone call to me. Next day, he was home.
Oh.
So
he called you, or you called him?
Yeah, he had my number, so he called me. And then after I finished the restoration, we took the ride, and we took the car back to him, and took him and his wife for a ride, and made him very happy.
What did you do what did you do to restore it?
I did replace the engine, just rebuilt the engine, repainted the car, and rebuilt front suspension. Basic overhaul stuff to bring it back to where it should be.
Was this car your dream car when you were a kid? Is that why you wanted that car?
I don't know. I have others. I have 3 other Monzas, but I wanted a car that was still somewhat original, and it just and they're very, very hard to find these days, especially rust-free.
It's so 70s. I love it.
It's so 70s. It is.
Do you ever do any photo shoots with it, or lend it out for?
I've done at Lloydstown Assembly Plant, where the car was manufactured. The 50th anniversary, I brought the car back up there, and it got a lot of attention. It was also at Chattanooga Motor Festival, and I won Concourse to Lemons, so it was up on the stage for that, that was interesting. That's something most people never get to do, to drive their car across the stage for that. That was a lot of fun.
Sure.
That was a lot of fun that day.
And you've got 3 other Monzas.
Yeah.
This is getting a little ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, I have the original car that I've had. I bought I bought in 1986. And I turned that into a Pro Street Monza, which I still have. And I have my wife's car, which is a Monza Mirage, which most people don't know what it is. What it is when they see it, it's even more confusing. This is another update. And then I'm building a wide body road race Decon Monza from factory. We'll call it a tribute car to Chris Cord's Budweiser Monza Decon IMSA car from back in the 70s. So that's under production, and that's a big project. So that'll be my masterpiece.
I love it. Thank you so much. You braved this weather. She's very unique, and we appreciate you bringing her out.
Thank you very much.
It with us today.
We'll be right back with more Cars and Coffee Exposed.
Promotional consideration provided by...
What is Urable? We are a business management system that helps create an exceptional customer experience and improves business operations. As a car enthusiast, you deserve the best, and Urable is the common denominator. With so many detail shops, endless brands of ceramic coatings, window tint, and paint protection film, it's hard to find the right shop for the job. Shops powered by Urable understand the care and quality that your investment requires. Avoid shops that are in the race to the bottom. If you want to identify the best providers in your area, make sure they're powered by Urable.
Your car is stolen. A crisis for you. A tragedy for your community. Theft hurts everyone. Insurance rises. Your neighborhood violated. Who will be next? But you can feel more protected and secure with the LoJack system. LoJack brings it back. LoJack's vehicle recovery system will find your vehicle usually within 30 minutes. And with the recent launch of LoJack LE, we're equipping our law enforcement partners with a safer and more efficient way to recover your vehicle. The LoJack app creates a bond of trust providing enhanced features designed to promote safety and convenience, and you'll always know where your vehicle is. Only LoJack stands with this promise. Receive up to $10,000 reimbursement if your vehicle is not recovered in 30 days. Let LoJack bring back your safety, confidence, and give you a greater driving experience. LoJack brings it back.
Welcome back to Cars and Coffee Exposed. If you're ever driving in the Nashville, Tennessee area and a black blur passes you by, that'll be Hal Bruin. This entrepreneur, car collector, and Audi lover has been a mainstay of the Nashville automotive scene for years. During our visit to Nashville, we got to meet and talk with Hal at Exotic Autosport and took a ride along in his 1,300 horsepower Audi A8.
When we said, hey, we're coming to Nashville, we started kind of talking to people about who we should see. Hal Bruin was one of the first names that came up.
Yeah.
So you must have quite the reputation here in the car culture in Nashville.
I've been around for a while, been involved with Cars and Coffee since 17, and who doesn't love cars?
How did you get involved with Cars and Coffee?
My wife and I own a business. We do concrete coatings for commercial and residential spaces, and cars and garages go hand in hand.
Speaking of garages, I hear you have a little bit of a collection.
We do. We actually just sold, well, now the only thing we have is this R8. We have a 2017 Audi R8. Just got rid of 3 vehicles about 2 weeks ago. And we're on the look for some others right now.
Okay, so tell me about this R8.
So it's 2017 R8. Bought it 3.5 years ago. It's definitely far from stock. It's got a Boost Logic twin turbo setup on it. Billet second gear, billet clutch. Spent a lot of money, and yeah, so goes fast, I guess you could say.
So you spent a lot of money to make it go fast?
Yes.
Sir.
Yes, faster.
Uh-huh.
It's a fun car, super reliable, but it's been through its trials and tribulations.
When did they start making this car?
2008. 2008 to 2016 was the Gen 1. 2017 was when they adapted the new trans with the Huracan, was 2015, and they adapted the same motor, same trans, so they share that platform from 2017.
So did you have your eye on this car for a long time? Is that what you wanted?
I've always been an R8 fan. That was my first supercar that I always wanted. Started in the Audi world as RS7, which is the 4-door version, and it's super reliable. And got 2 of those, and then went to the R8. But
Why the R8?
The V10 sounds amazing. The platform's awesome. It's, like I said, very reliable. It makes great power, and just the driving experience it offers is, in my mind, one of the best ones.
I hear that a lot from Audi drivers. You guys are a little bit cultish when it comes to these cars.
Heard that.
Yeah.
Everyone has their own cults. You know, whether it's BMW, Ferrari, Lambo, Audi.
You're absolutely right. So what was your first car?
First car was a 1997 Honda Civic 2-door.
Ooh, that was an 84 Honda Accord 2-door hatchback.
Hondas, yep.
Wow. So you went from a Honda to an Audi, and you've built this business, so you were finally able to buy like what you really wanted, and
exactly.
Here we are.
Here we are. Yeah, my wife and I started the business in 17, and it's had some great things happen, and we love it. It's created great opportunities for us.
So how did this love of cars develop for you?
I don't know if you've ever heard of a movie called Fast and the Furious.
I have.
Yeah. So that's where the Honda came from for my first car. But that's when I was in high school. That movie came out. And I mean, who doesn't love that? So that's where it started. It's a JDM background. So it started with the Honda and went from the Civics to the S2000s. Had 7 S2000s and built those. And so that's where it came from. So I'm a big JDM fan.
Okay. So is that what made you start a business in the automotive industry?
My wife and I were just kind of spitballing and trying to figure out what we want to do to create a good life for our kids. And nights and weekends were available to watch the kids. And so we came up with a garage floor coating business. And whether it's an airplane hangar or a collector car garage, most of the time a really big car guy is going to want something that's to protect the floor. It's a showroom piece.
Yeah.
And that's how we got in the business. It was a very underserved market. And then we got involved with Cars and Coffee, just because cars and garages go hand in hand.
What's the name of your company?
Granite Garage Floors.
Are you actually putting granite in these garages?
So the name comes from granite. it looks and lasts like granite. So granite, you think of very durable, and so that's where the name comes from.
Speaking of how durable those floors are, I heard that we're going for a ride in this R8.
We will. We will be going for a ride in the R8,
Okay.
and we'll get to see what 1,300 horsepower to the wheels feels like.
Okay, I'm excited.
It'll be
Let's
fun.
do it. Is your wife an enthusiast as well?
Yes, she does. She is involved with it. We actually, we had an AMG GT was our other car that we just sold.
That's
and
beautiful.
Love the car.
Yeah.
Great car. Honestly, it handles better than this car does, in my opinion.
Yeah.
She wasn't real fond of it, so I actually just got rid of it. And we're on the lookout for another R8. Basically, same year.
Really?
Yep. And we're just looking for the right one.
What is it that makes it the perfect R8 for you?
In my mind, because the Huracans and the R8 share the same motor trans, the same platform, since they're all owned by Volkswagen. So it's a very similar car. The R8 has a different viewing platform through the windshield, so you can't see as much. It's a little bit more blind spots. The R8, in my mind, is just more comfortable. So it's more of a daily friendly exotic.
Yeah.
You still get the same motor, the same sounds from a Huracan versus an R8.
Yeah.
And number one, it's cheaper.
I was just about to ask you that. It's a common question. I always like to ask so people watching know, but how much does it cost yearly, would you say, to actually maintain this vehicle?
Honestly, regular maintenance is not bad at all.
Really?
The only reason the Trans had to come out is because I wanted more power and I had to have supporting mods to support the power that I need.
Yeah.
Maintenance-wise, oil changes, brakes are expensive, obviously, when you have to go down that road. But maintenance-wise, your oil changes and brake flushes, really, honestly, I would say maybe 20% more than 30% more than a regular car. It's not bad.
Okay.
Not bad at all.
What do you like most about driving this car?
The sounds.
Yeah.
Between the V10 motor and the twin turbo setup, it makes some really cool sounds. It's a great experience in my mind.
Yeah.
You can't beat the twin.
Yeah. And you're shifting here.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I see them now. Okay.
Just the little ones. Those
Yeah.
are like the baby ones.
Yeah. I love it.
But the sound is great. It's a driving experience.
Yeah.
And very comfortable for supercar.
How long did it take you to really get comfortable with the car and feeling like you can really kind of push yourself?
With this car, this was my first supercar, so it took me a little while. I was just real nervous.
I'm sure.
I thought I was going to mess up something. But this, it probably took me, I would say, at least like maybe 6 months to get extremely comfortable with it. And just knowing the road, it's a lower vehicle, so making sure there's no potholes or knowing how to come out of stuff as far as like different angles and whatnot. But power level on a stock R8 or a stock Huracan is 610, so once you get used to the power level, everyone always wants more.
So the modifications, all the modifications were just give you more power.
Yeah. Started off at Boost Logic. It's the company that makes the twin turbo kit. Whether it's a stage 1, stage 2, it's the same turbos. And so you can build kind of off of that base kit. So whether you're going 800 horsepower or 1500 horsepower, it's the same turbos. But you would never guess because it's driving just basically like it's a stock car.
Yeah.
I've got 4 maps that I can change while we're driving. So right now we're at a 1200 horsepower map. But I can put it all the way down to 800. It's got 800, 1000, 1200, and then 1300 map.
So when you say map, is that like the limit, or what does that mean exactly?
Basically, just it's a completely different fuel map. So it creates, when you change the maps, it changes your timing, your fuel maps, and the boost levels for the turbos.
I feel like you've been taking it easy on me. So you're gonna show me what
I can put it on 1300.
she could really do?
Yeah.
Wait a minute, 1300?
Yeah.
Am I ready for that? So this thing goes up to 1300 horsepower. Formula One cars are what, 1,000?
I think they're 1,000, but they weigh less.
Ah.
Way less.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
You got something to give. You got play in your game. Never mattered to you what anybody would say.
Lost my glasses. Oh my God. Everybody needs to know what that feels like.
I agree.
Oh my God, that was amazing. We'll be right back with more Cars and Coffee Exposed.
Promotional consideration provided by. Get ready for an adrenaline-fueled ride with Cars and Coffee Exposed. It's not just a show, it's a whole new automotive experience. Now's the time to claim your spot as a brand partner for the electrifying 2024 season. Join us on the ultimate thrill ride as Cars and Coffee Exposed takes you on a journey to the hottest car events across the nation. Partner with us to inject your brand into our high-octane episodes and connect with car enthusiasts live at Cars and Coffee events nationwide. We've got the horsepower, the speed, and your target audience right in our sights. Rev up your marketing strategy today. Contact us at info@carsandcoffeeexposed.com and let's accelerate together.
Welcome back to Cars and Coffee Exposed.
David Lancaster, although you don't go by David, do you? You go by
Boots.
Boots.
Yes,
And I
ma'am.
must say, you
I show up and show
Nashville
out.
with you today. I love it.
Thank
So, Boots, how old are you?
I turned 19 in 5 days.
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
18 years old.
18 years old. I just graduated from Watertown High School.
And you bought this beautiful...
Well, I inherited it. I want to say I have the money to buy it, but I got the money to keep it running. Yes, ma'am.
Your grandfather gave you this Model T, was that correct?
Yes, ma'am, that is.
This particular Model T, he decided to go ahead with the restoration.
Yes, ma'am.
How long did it take him to restore it?
This one probably 4 years, 3 to 4 years. Bought it whenever my dad was a young man, so in late 60s he bought it, and then restored it, and then sold it, like right after he restored it, and then bought it back in the late 80s.
So refreshing to see somebody young like you that really just appreciates these cars. And I hear you just had an important date in this car a little while back.
Yes, ma'am. Prom was very important at the Crossroads in Lebanon. Yes, ma'am.
You had to be driving the coolest thing there.
Actually, my dad was driving it, and he was driving with a gold cap and a gold jacket and Python boots he was wearing. And, you know, my favorite chauffeur. So, coolest looking one by
Your
far.
dad should have been here today. I would have loved to.
He should have. He was cooking bacon and drinking whiskey this morning. That was what he was doing. I have fun driving this one all the time, and I'm about to build another one.
Are you
So
really?
I'm hoping so. I'm helping a neighbor restore his, and I'm trying to gather some parts and build an off-road version. I take that one off-road and take it through the mud sometimes, and it does well going up rocks.
Yeah.
But I can't let nobody see me.
Well, it kind of had to back then, right? Because it's 1925, and the roads weren't what they are today.
No, they were about what we think off-roading is.
Right.
And that was normal roads for them. And if Henry Ford saw the roads today, he'd be like, wow,
Yeah.
maybe I could have made it a little bit more comfortable.
Right. I actually did an interior on a Model T a while back,
Really?
and it had chicken wire was what was holding up the headline.
Yeah, they never had a die press big enough, and if they had a sheet metal top, it would bow or bend the Model A's. So that's why they just had chicken wire, and that's why the Model A's had vinyl top. It's because they couldn't get the metal to stay straight. It would always bow and bend in the middle. So that's
See,
why.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
So one of the things that you like to do is you like to take this for a drive, and you can stick your legs out and lie on your back and drive it.
Either stick your legs over the side of the fender, and or my favorite thing to do is drop the top and take my shoes off and sit on top of the seat and steer it with my feet. And I usually keep a gallon of sweet tea with me, some brownies, and I usually open some brownie packets. I'll drive it with my feet, eat some brownies, drink some sweet tea, drive from Lebanon to Murfreesboro with it.
I love it. I love it. Thank you. Don't keep it in the family.
Yeah, I plan on doing it.
Please.
I was either going to restore this one or build another one, and Dan said, it's like, dude, if it runs and drives, don't take it apart.
Yeah.
Don't, because you're going to have to spend a ton more money replacing stuff.
I'm sure. Well, thank you for bringing this beautiful car out. The weather's not so beautiful today, but you brought the sunshine. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. It's nice
on,
meeting you.
man.
Yes, ma'am.
Michael, it's so nice to meet you.
It's nice meeting you
You
too.
brought your beautiful baby with you. It's 2014 C7. So, first of all, I gotta ask about the name. You told me the name. Share the name with the people.
So her name is Goober. It actually started because the car I traded in for it was a Volkswagen Golf, and I had the license plate for it Uber. So I paid it some homage, and that I traded in for a Corvette and named her Goober. Yeah, so that's kind of where that came from.
Goober.
Yes.
That's funny. It's hilarious. Well, she doesn't look like a goober, but if you say so.
I mean, hey, it gets your attention.
To each his own. So you drove her up, and she sounds amazing. What all have you done?
So I actually worked with East Coast Supercharging out of Jersey. They built the car up there with Texas Speed, freight motor from Texas Speed, custom drivetrain and all from RPM transmissions. And we're supercharged, running alcohol, and we're running E85, cams, heads, X-pipe, all that from Texas Speed. So she's doing all right for herself.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was it your dream to build this car?
It was a dream that happened because of my fiance.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about her.
So we get engaged, and obviously she knows I love cars, but she made it clear, if you're gonna build it before we get married.
Ooh.
And I said, cool, hold my beer. It went from being a small build that was supposed to take 3 months to turn it into a little bit over a year build with East Coast Supercharging, because we then doubled the horsepower that we were originally going to be putting in the vehicle.
Did you double the budget too?
More than doubled.
But you still got her ring on her finger?
She has a beautiful ring on her finger, and I got my car.
You're smart, because had you not done it right, you probably wouldn't have been happy with it, and then you would have been stuck.
Absolutely.
Right? And you don't want to start a relationship off on lies and deceit.
Yes.
So good for you.
Oh yes. You know, she did ask me to keep the number from her, and then I eventually did tell her the number, and she couldn't believe it.
Do you mind sharing the number with us?
It all in with the build, or do you just want just the build?
So what did you buy it for?
I bought it for $39,000.
Okay, and then what you got into it today?
With everything, over 40 grand into just the build. So a little bit over 80 grand.
Yeah. Do you plan on keeping it forever?
Oh yeah, that's my baby. She's rolling with me.
Yeah.
And that I mean, how do you replace that?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Was the C7 always what you wanted to build?
I've always wanted a C7. The build was kind of a pipe dream, and I decided, well, now's the time.
Yes.
Because also, I didn't want to wait like most Corvette owners till they're 65 to enjoy it. I bought the car at 28.
I was gonna say, you don't fit the typical Corvette driver protocol.
Yes.
Stereotype. I like it. I think you're like blazing your own trail. I love it. What do you love most about it?
I like that I can just disappear into the sounds. I jump in her, and half the time I even forget to turn the radio on, because I just love listening to her talk. Like every time I get into the next gear, the way that she just sounds, and even if I have somebody roll up, they don't even want to race. They just want me to rev it. They just want to hear it. So obviously I'm not the only one that enjoys the way she sounds.
Yeah, she sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming out, and thanks for being a unique vet owner.
Thank you.
You didn't have khakis and socks up to here, so I almost didn't recognize you.
Hey, you know, Halloween, I might be rocking some jean shorts, some compression socks, some New Balances, you know.
Let's go, let's do it. Nice meeting you.
Nice
Thanks
meeting
so much.
you too.
Ben, thank you so much for bringing this beauty on such a nasty day.
You know, I'm not going to melt. This is awesome stuff. I'm really happy to be here.
Thank you so much. So we usually interview owners of cars, but this is actually belongs to a friend of yours that you helped design and mod. So kind of tell us about that.
Yeah, I'm involved with a Nashville car club, the BMW club, and his daughters got to college age, and he went from literally like a Camry to this, and was working with some shops in the area, and he was under the impression there were no more mods to do. And I go, that doesn't sound right, Patrick.
How fast was it then?
So I think it had an off-the-shelf tune, so it went from like 617 horsepower to 800-ish, I think, and that's where, if you're buying off-the-shelf parts, you kind of hit a ceiling.
Right.
But some is good, more is better. And with the fact that he loves half-mile events and, you know, looking like that, we found other ways to go fast that didn't necessarily exist when we started looking for them.
I see a wing.
Mm-hmm.
And so did that add some horsepower as well?
That'll take it away, but it does look really cool, and it is active aero. There's a control box that's on the underside of the trunk lid I put in that senses lateral Gs. It's plugged into the car's CAN network, so it knows the vehicle's speed. So you can tell the box, look, under these conditions, do these things. So
wow.
When we hit 120, go to low drag mode, because we're probably trying to go fast. If we nail the brakes, give us some help and pop up. That type of thing.
So they're like wings on an airplane,
yeah,
kind of.
It's like situation-dependent aero. That was super fun to install. Terrifying, but fun.
No, you were telling me about that a little bit.
Yeah.
You actually installed that.
I did. We were on a waiting list with a local shop for upwards of 6 months, and I just got tired of it and studied up on the topic and found myself with the whole deck lid covered in masking tape with like laser levels and blah, blah, blah out, and one of those giant like concentric cone drill bits, stepper bit, I think they're called.
Yeah.
And had 6 15 mil holes to drill. Mm-hmm. And you can only measure so many times, but it wasn't my car.
Yeah.
But it went well.
Good.
And it stayed intact at high triple-digit speeds.
Yeah.
So I'm counting that as a win.
Congratulations. So what else makes this car special?
A bunch of one-off parts. For example, the KW suspension kit that's on it. This kit was manufactured for the car, included 4 independent corner adjustments that doesn't exist for any other BMW applications except on that car. Bunch of stuff like that.
Yeah.
The owner's not afraid of breaking stuff.
He races it.
Yeah, we go to these half-mile things. Mm-hmm. You dump neon green race gas in it. You fill up the methanol tank, which it has, by the way. Picture being on like a 10-lane freeway because it's a runway. Mm-hmm. But there's just one other car, and first of all, it's weird to floor it for that long.
Yeah.
But then, way off in the distance, half-mile away, same type of flags as these, but black and maybe a little bit taller. They start out as specks, and then they just go,
yeah.
And then it's time to put on the brakes.
And it's over.
I just got a little bit of goosebumps. Those are so much fun. I love this.
I'm excited for your maybe new career in this lane. And so
scratching out the maybe part.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Hopefully this will be a springboard for you.
Absolutely.
And a year from now when we're back here next season, you'll tell us all about it.
I want to come bother you at SEMA. That's what I want.
Okay. Yeah, well, I'll look forward to seeing you at SEMA, Ben, and if you ever need any advice, give me a call.
I absolutely will.
Okay.
I absolutely will.
Thanks so much.
Great chatting with you.
You too.